I befriend locals who cultivate sugar plantations, and with time, I build my own small plot. Slowly, my venture flourishes, and after a few years, I'm doing well enough to hire help for my household. One day, I inquire about a suitable housekeeper among my friends, and a buddy mentions his daughter. She is young and talented, a great cook. When she arrives, I'm taken by her charm and shyness. We converse, and as she returns to clean and cook regularly, our friendship deepens. But when illness keeps her from coming, I realize how much I miss her presence. Upon her return, I greet her with warmth, and our bond takes a romantic turn. A few weeks later, I ask her father for her hand, and he agrees. In a joyous ceremony, we marry and begin to plan our future together. We have dreams for our family and ambitions for the plantation. I often share my aspirations about Africa with my friends, and one day, 3 of them propose a journey back there for business. I eagerly accept, and we prepare to leave Brazil in September. Our ship, filled with supplies and anticipation, sets sail. Yet a hurricane strikes, testing our resolve. After 3 harrowing days, we face further challenges. Our ship has sustained damage. The captain suggests retreating to repair, but I insist on pressing on. We weigh our options and make plans for survival, but when a second hurricane approaches, I prepare for whatever lies ahead. The storm raged around us, our ship groaning under the relentless assault of wind and waves. The captain's voice cut through the chaos, urging us onto a smaller boat, a decision that sent a chill of dread through my spine. It was dangerous, barely enough room for the 17 of us. Yet survival demanded it. As we boarded, the small vessel was tossed like a cork in the churning sea. The wind howled, propelling us toward jagged rocks, and I felt my heart race. Suddenly, a monstrous wave crashed over us, flipping the boat upside down. I plunged beneath the surface, gasping for air, the darkness swallowing me whole. For a fleeting moment, I surfaced, lungs burning as I searched for my comrades, only to find the chaotic waters had claimed them. I fought against the current, desperate to find refuge. A wave propelled me toward a rocky beach, and I felt the ground beneath my feet. My body screamed in protest as I struggled to rise, knowing that another wave could pull me back into the sea. I stumbled forward, each movement a monumental effort, until I finally collapsed onto the sand, gasping for breath. Alone, I looked around, my heart heavy with the weight of loss. The beach was littered with remnants of my friends, a few hats, 2 shoes, but they were gone, leaving me to navigate this harsh world alone. The storm had passed, but I was far from safe. My body ached, and I was vulnerable without food, fresh water, or protection against the wild. 2357. With nothing but a small knife salvaged from my pocket, I felt the weight of despair, but then I spotted a trickling river and quenched my thirst, momentarily soothing my fears. As night fell, shadows danced around me, and the sounds of the wild kept me alert. I couldn't risk sleeping on the ground, so I climbed a tree, heart pounding at the thought of lurking predators. Dawn broke, revealing a serene sea that belied the chaos of the previous day. The ship, still afloat but distant, beckoned me. I swam toward it, desperation fueling my strokes, but the vastness of the ocean overwhelmed me. Finally, I spotted a rope dangling from the side, and with a surge of determination, I hoisted myself aboard the empty vessel. Searching for supplies, I stumbled upon a stash of dried food and a bottle of rum, small comforts amidst the wreckage. But then, I heard a rustling sound that sent chills down my spine. I crept toward the noise, expecting the worst, only to find the captain's dog, eyes wide with fear, yet filled with recognition. In that moment, I wasn't alone anymore. We gathered what we could and set about crafting a raft, scouring the ship for clothes and any useful items. I discovered guns, gunpowder, and even a beautiful carpet. With the tide in my favor, I sailed back to the beach, ready to forge a new life on this desolate island. I climbed a nearby hill for a better view, my heart racing with the thrill of discovery. Gazing out at the ocean, I realized I was isolated, an island surrounded by a vast expanse of blue. In the distance, two smaller islands beckoned, and I contemplated the land beyond. Yet I was alone, save for the wildlife that filled the air with strange cries. In my search for food, I tried to catch a bird, but its meat was inedible, leaving me hungry and uncertain. I began to think ahead, preparing for the possibility of storms and the need for shelter. I constructed a tent near a fresh water source and gathered what few supplies I had, readying myself for the challenges to come. As the days passed, I made repeated trips back to the ship, each return filled with hope. I scavenged everything I could, canned food, candles, and even a few decks of cards for entertainment. I found money that seemed worthless but took it anyway, just in case. But the sky began to darken, ominous clouds gathering like a heavy shroud. The storm struck suddenly, fierce and unrelenting. I rushed back to my tent, grateful for its refuge as the winds howled outside. The next morning revealed devastation. The ship had vanished, swallowed by the sea. With no means of escape, I resolved to make this island my home, to carve out a space where I could live safely. I set to work, creating a more permanent dwelling with a sturdy fence for protection. The hills shielded me from one side, while I made a smaller tent for myself, safeguarding my supplies from the elements. As I dug into the earth to create a cave for storing food, I felt a sense of purpose fill me. But nature can be merciless. One day, a fierce storm rolled in, lightning splitting the sky. I feared for my supplies of gunpowder, realizing I needed to act quickly. Over the next 3 days, I carefully transferred the powder into smaller containers, hiding them within the rocks, ensuring my safety amidst the chaos. My existence had become a delicate balance of survival and planning for a future I still dared to dream about.